Good afternoon, my dear students. Today we're going to have another virtual class for Math 6103. This is Calculus 2, and we're going to discuss your Module 2, Week 2, which is all about functions and graphs. So we have now your objectives, functions and graph 2. At the end of the session, students will be able to 1. Define the 6 trigonometric functions. 2. Define a unit circle. 3. Solve angles in terms of radians. 4. Solve for the exact and appropriate solutions of trigonometric functions. 5. Identify exponential and logarithmic functions. 6. Enumerate the properties of exponential functions and logarithm. 7. Use like bases to solve exponential equations. 8. Use logarithm to solve exponential equation. And last, use the definitions of logarithm to solve logarithmic equations. So first we have your trigonometric functions. The 6 trigonometric functions. First, let's start with the 6 trigonometric functions and how they are related to each other. We have cosine x, we have sine x, okay? So tangent x from our formula is equal to sine x all over cosine x, okay? And second x equal to 1 all over cosine x. It is the reciprocal of second x. For sine x naman, we have cotangent x is equal to cosine x all over sine x is the same as 1 all over tangent x. And also, cosecant x is equal to 1 all over sine x. Figure 1 represents the 6 trigonometric functions. Or for short, we have the shortcut. Ang tawag po natin doon is SOHCAHTOA ku siya kau. That's the acronym of the 6 trigonometric functions. Sine is equal to opposite all over hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to adjacent all over hypotenuse. Tangent is equal to opposite all over adjacent. We have ku siya kau. Ku represents cosecant. Hypotenuse all over opposite. Siya, secant, hypotenuse all over adjacent. Kau, cotangent is equal to adjacent all over opposite. So that's your 6 trigonometric functions. So recall as well that all the trigonometric functions can be defined in terms of a right triangle. From this right triangle, we get the following definitions of the 6 trigonometric functions. Remembering both the relationship between all 6 trigonometric functions and the right triangle definitions will be useful in calculus. So they show right triangle with the right angle, and the side opposite to the right angle is always the hypotenuse side. If they show angle theta, this will be your adjacent side, and this will be the opposite side. So this is now your figure 2, the relationship between all the 6 of the trigonometric functions under right triangle definitions. So we have so, ka, tuwa, ku, siya, kau. So that is now the acronym for the 6 trigonometric functions. So next we have your unit circle. The unit circle is one of the more useful tools to come out in trigonometry. It is defined as a circle of radius of 1 unit with its center at the origin. So this is your unit circle. You start with your 0 degree. From the counterclockwise direction, we have pi all over 2. That is in terms of radians, or that is equivalent to 90 degrees. Next, we have pi that is equivalent to 180 degrees. And then we have 3 pi all over 2, that is equivalent to 270 degrees. And then we have 2 pi, that is equivalent to 360 degrees. So we have a conversion there that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So we have your pi all over 6, the values are square root of 3 all over 2. So we're going to assume that your radius is equivalent to 1. Okay? So presented in the figure is the unit circle with just the first quadrant filled in. The way the unit circle works is to draw a line from the center of the circle outwards corresponding to a given angle. So tulad dito, meron kayong pi all over 6, pi all over 4, pi all over 3. Pi all over 6, that is equivalent to 30 degrees. 180 divided by 6, that is 30 degrees. Pi all over 4, that is 45 degree. 180 divided by 4, that is 45. Pi all over 3, that is equivalent to 60 degrees. Okay? So, sabi dito, then look at the coordinates of the point where the line and the circle intersect. The first coordinate is the cosine of that angle. So, dito, halimbawa, this is your x and y coordinate. Yung first coordinate po dito, yung square root of 3 all over 2, that is now the cosine of that angle. Cosine, we have pi all over 6, that is in terms of radians, that is 180 all over 6, that is cosine 30 degrees. And also, okay, and the second coordinate is that sine of that angle. If this one is 1/2, sine 30 degrees is equivalent to 1/2. So that's the way how we're going to use unit circle. So put some the basic angle along with the coordinates of their intersections on the unit circle. So for example, from the unit circle below, we can say that cosine pi all over 6, cosine pi all over 6, this angle is equal to square root of 3 all over 2. And sine pi all over 6 is equal to 1 all over 2. Yan po siya. Remember how the signs of angle works if you rotate in a counterclockwise. Ibig sabihin, counterclockwise, no? Ganun siya, no? Counterclockwise direction, the angle is positive. And if you rotate in the clockwise, this is clockwise, this is counterclockwise direction, the angle is negative. So we have now the basic angle in degrees and radians. Figure 4, this is now the relationship between degrees and radians for the angles in the unit circle. So ito siya, no? 0 degree, 0 siya. 15 degree, pi all over 12. 30 degree, pi all over 6. 45, pi all over 4. 60, pi all over 3. 75, pi all over 12. Then 90 is equal to pi all over 2. So yung first ano po dito represents your angle in terms of degree. Tapos yung pangalawa represents the angle in terms of radians. Okay, so don't be confused. Nandiyan na po yung conversions pa natin. Example number 1. Evaluate each of the following, no? Sine 2 pi all over 3 and sine negative 2 pi all over 3. So we're going to look on our unit circle. This is now our 2 pi all over 3. So how are we going to do that? Solution, sine 2 pi all over 3 and sine negative 2 pi all over 3. It says that the first evaluation in this part uses the angle 2 pi all over 3. That's not on our presented unit circle. However, we notice that 2 pi all over 3 is equal to pi minus pi all over 3. So this one is 2 minus 1 kaya naging 2 pi all over 3. Is found by rotating up pi all over 3 from the negative x-axis. So negative x-axis, this means that the line for 2 pi all over 3 will be a mirror image of the line for pi all over 3, only in the second quadrant. The coordinates for 2 pi over 3 will be coordinates for pi all over 3, except the x-coordinate will be negative. Okay? So dito, we're looking for sine 2 pi all over 3. Okay? So sine 2 pi all over 3, ito siya, no? Pero sabi naman niya, you're going to rotate negative kasi nandito siya. 1, 2, 3. That is 2 pi all over 3. So pi minus, okay, 2 pi all over 3, that is pi all over 3. Okay? Likewise, for 2 pi all over 3, we can notice that negative 2 pi all over 3 is equal to negative pi plus pi all over 3. So this angle can be found by rotating down pi all over 3 from the negative axis. Yung isa naman by rotating up pi all over 3 from the negative x-axis. So, i-rotate natin ang pi all over 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Kasi nandito yung pi all over 3, no? So, ibig sabihin, tatlong pi. 1, 2, 3. Tapos, isusunod, ito na yung value ng 2 pi all over 3. Okay? Tapos, dito sa kabila, to the left, no? Rotate natin sa pababa, 1, 2, 3. So, ito yung value niya, which is the mirror of pi all over 3. Kaya sabi niya dito, this means that the line for negative 2 pi, 2 pi all over 3 will be a mirror image of the line for pi all over 3, only in the third quadrant, and the coordinates will be the same as the coordinates of pi all over 3, except both will be negative. So both of these angles, along with their coordinates, are shown on this unit circle. From this unit circle, we can say that sine 2 pi all over 3 is equal to the square root of 3 all over 2, and sine negative 2 pi all over 3 is equal to negative square root of 3 all over 2. Okay? So that is our answer. Ito po siya, no? Pi all over 3. Okay? So the answers are negative square root of 3 all over 2 and square root of 3 all over 2. Ito na siya. Okay? So, figure 5, a unit circle showing that sine 2 pi all over 3 is equal to square root of 3 all over 2. Okay? So, dito, ito yung value ng cosine, ito value ng sine natin. Sabi niya, it's a mirror from the second quadrant. So, value niya will be pi square root of 3 all over 2. Okay? Ito po siya, no? Kasi nag-rotate po tayo dito, kaya yung value ng ano natin, yung x natin is negative 1/2. Kasi opposite direction siya, no? Okay, so we have square root of 3 all over 2. And sine negative 2 pi all over 3 is negative square root of 3 all over 2. Ito po siya. Kasi nag-rotate po tayo dito, okay, from counter-clockwise, no? Okay, this one is clockwise, kaya positive. This one is counterclockwise, kaya negative. So we have negative square root of 3 all over 2. So those are now our answers. So that's the way how we're going to make use of our unit circle. Okay, so follow the directions, no? Sabi niya, we're going to rotate pi all over 3 from the negative axis up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So tapos, yung mirror niya ito, yung nandito. Yung mirror daw po niya yung square root of 3 all over 2, yung pi all over 3. Kasi yung distance dito, magmula dito, that is pi all over 3. Magmula dito hanggang dito, that's the distance is pi all over 3. Tapos magmula dito hanggang dito, that is 2 pi all over 3. The same with this one. Umikot tayo ng to the downward, 1, 2, 3. So this will represent your negative 2 pi all over 3. Since we rotate from negative axis counterclockwise. Kaya negative po siya. Ito, nag-rotate tayo in clockwise direction, kaya positive po siya. Okay? So next, we have the solving trigonometric functions. We have example number 2, sabi niya, solve 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. Solution, to solve for x, you must first isolate the sine term. We know that sine pi all over 6, so is equal to 1 half. So paano siya naging 1 half? Sin x to sin x, pag ito nilipat natin siya, magiging 1. So cross multiplication, sin x will be equal to 1 all over 2. Okay? From our unit circle, 1 all over 2, okay? Pi all over 6, the value is 1 all over 2. Ito po yun, no? From our unit circle. Ang shortcut din po, pi all over 6, 180 all over 6 is 30 degrees. Sin 30 is 0.5. So this one is 1 half. So pareho lang po sila, no? Okay? So we know that sin pi all over 6 is equal to 1 half. Therefore, x is equal to pi all over 6. The sine function is a positive in the first quadrant and second quadrant. The sine pi minus pi all over 6 is equal to sine 5 pi all over 6 is also equal to 1 half. Okay? Therefore, there are two solutions to the problem are x is equal to pi all over 6 and x is equal to 5 pi all over 6. So, titingnan po natin sa drawing po natin kung nandito siya. We have pi all over 6. Tapos, sa second quadrant, yung mirror angle niya, we have also 5 pi all over 6. That is the mirror angle. And the answer is the same as 0.5. Okay? So, next, since the left side equals the right side, when you substitute pi all over 6 for x, then pi all over 6 is a solution. Okay, numerical check. X is equal to pi all over 6. 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. 2 sine pi all over 6 minus 1 is equal to 0. 2 pi all over 6 is equal to 1 half. So 2 divided by 2 is 1 minus 1. 0 is equal to 0. Okay? Next, if x is equal to 5 pi all over 6, 2 sine pi minus 1 is equal to 0. 2 sine 5 pi all over 6 is the same as 1 half. 2 divided by 2 is 1 minus 1. The answer is 0. So there are two solutions for these questions. Next, we have the exponential and logarithmic functions. In this section, we're going to review one of the more common functions in calculus. That is the exponential functions. So exponential functions, before getting to this function, let's take a much more general approach to things. No? Let's start with b is greater than 0 and b is not equal to 1. An exponential function is then a function in the form f of x is equal to b raised to x, where your b is the base and your x is the variable in the exponent. So example 1, sketch the graph of f of x equal to 2 raised to x and g sub x equal to 1 all over 2 raised to x. Solution, before we're going to find the graph, the most important here is, mas maganda kung gumawa muna tayo ng table. First, let's get a table of values for these two functions. So this is now the value of our x, this is the function of x, this is now the g, which is a function of x. Okay? If x is equal to negative 2, okay, 2 raised to negative 2 is equal to 1 all over 4. Kasi 1 all over x is the same as x raised to negative 1. Okay, if you're going to express this one to your exponents, so magiging 1 all over 2 raised to 2, magiging 4 po siya. If x is equal to negative 1, 2 raised to negative 1 is the same as 1 all over 2. X raised to negative 1 is the same as 1 all over x. 2 raised to 0, any number raised to 0 is equivalent to 1. The function of 1, 2 raised to 1 is 2 pa rin. If the function of x is equal to 2, 2 raised to 2, ito siya, no? 2 raised to 2, the answer is 4. Okay? For the next column, if g is equal to negative 2, okay, 1 all over 2 raised to negative 2, so we have, the answer is equal to 4. Kasi ito, pag nilagay mo siya sa baba, magiging 2, ilalagay mo yan sa magiging 2 raised to negative 2, tapos i-express mo siya sa positive, magiging 4 na siya. That is negative 1. 1 all over 2 raised to negative 1 is equal to 2. 1 half raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay? If x is equal to 1, 1 half raised to 1 is the same as 1 half. If x is equal to 2, 1 all over 2, then raised to 2, the answer is 4. Next, if we're going to plot now the values, we can now have our figure. So here's the sketch of both of these functions. This graph illustrates some very nice properties about exponential functions in general. The color red represents to your 2 raised to x. The color blue represents your g, which is a function of x, is equal to 1 all over 2 raised to x. Okay? So, we have now our value, no? Sabi dito, if x is equal to negative 2, from this equation, which is 2 raised to x, the answer is 1 all over 4. So, somewhere in this point. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And then, if x is equal to negative 1, 1 half. Negative 1, somewhere in this one. Okay? Kalahati. Tapos, if x is equal to 0, okay? Ito siya, no? If the function of x is equal to 0, 2 raised to 0 is equal to 1. Ito siya. 1 na. Okay? Then, if x is equal to 1, ito po siya, no? The answer is 2. If x is equal to 2, the answer is 4. Okay? Sa kabila po naman, g of negative 2, 1 half is equal to 4. If your x is equal to negative 2, the answer is 4. Yan. Tapos, pag negative 1 naman siya, the answer is 2. Hop. Yan. Tapos, pag 0 siya, the answer is 1. Yan siya. Then, pag 1 siya, magiging 0.5. Then, pag 2 siya, magiging 1/4. So, ibig sabihin, they are equal. Kaya sabi dito, this graph illustrates some very nice properties about exponential functions in general. So, next we have your logarithm functions. The logarithm or logs are inverse of exponential. Inverse function undo each other. So logarithm just undo exponential. Let us start with your b is greater than 0 and b is not equal to 0. We can say that y is equal to log x to the base b is equivalent to your x is equal to b raised to y. Okay, so ito yung value natin, ito yung base natin, ito yung y po natin. Where b is the base, the first is called the logarithmic form. Ito na siya, no? This one is the logarithmic form. And the second is called the exponential form. Sabihin, if we're going to convert this logarithmic form, ito yung magiging exponential form equation po niya. So therefore, the inverse of f of x is equal to 2 raised to x is equal to f na raised to negative 1 is equal to x is equal to log x to the base 2. So po yun po yung magiging value niya in terms of logarithm. So we have your example number 1. Without a calculator, gave the exact value of log 16 to the base 2. Okay? Solution. To quickly evaluate logarithm, the easiest thing to do is to convert the logarithm into exponential form. Ito yung magiging formula po natin. X is equal to b raised to y. Okay? First, let's convert to exponential form. Log 16 to the base 2 is equivalent to 2 raised to x, or unknown, is equal to 16. Okay? Log 16 to the base 2 is equal to your y. 2 raised to y is equal to x. So we really need asking 2 raised to what gives 16. Since 2 raised to 4 is 16, we get log 16 to the base 2. The answer is 4. Because 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16. So that is our answer. So that's the way how we're going to solve logarithm equation without using a calculator. Okay? So next we have your example number 2. Without a calculator, give the exact value of each of the following logarithm. Log 16 to the base 4. Madali lang po ito, no? Log 625 to the base 5. Log 1 divided by 5, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1 to the base 9. Letter D, log 36 to the base 1 all over 6. Next, letter E, log 27 all over 8 to the base 2 all over 3. So we're going to use this one without using a calculator. But the first solution there is we're going to convert this one into exponential form. Ito na siya. So this is now our solution. Log 16 to the base 4 is unknown. Because 4 squared is equal to 16, note the difference between the first example and the second logarithm. So therefore, the answer is 2. Because 4 squared, the answer is 16. Next, the base is important. It can completely change the answer. Next, letter B. Log 625 to the base 5. The answer is also 4. Okay, because 5 raised to 4, the answer is 625. That is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25 times 5, that is 125 times 5, that is 625. Okay, log 9, 1 divided by 5, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1 to the base 9 is equal to negative 6. Because 9 raised to negative 6, kung ano yung base dito, ito yung exponent niya, no? 9 raised to negative 6 is equal to 1 all over 9 raised to 6. The answer is 1 all over 5, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1. Okay? Next, log 36 to base 1 all over 6. 1 all over 6 raised to negative 2 is the same as 6 raised to 2. Ito magiging positive siya, no? Pag nilagay natin sa taas. So the answer is 36. Okay? Last, log 27 all over 8 to the base 3 all over 2 is equal to 3. Because 3 raised to 3 is 27. 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8. So that is our solutions. Even without using a calcu, as long as we know how to convert the logarithm form into an exponential form, pwede nating masolve po siya. Next, we have now the properties of logarithm. Okay? Like exponential functions, logarithm has properties that will guide us in solving related problems. The domain of the logarithm function is from 0 to infinity. In other words, we can only plug positive numbers into a logarithm. We cannot plug in 0 or a negative number. Okay? So number two, the uh, logarithm of b to the base b is equal to 1. Bakit? B raised to 1, the answer is b po siya. Okay? Ito yung base, ito yung exponent, ito yung sagot po natin. So that's the way how we're going to simplify logarithm. Log 1 to the base b is equal to 0. Because any number or any base raised to 0, the answer is 1. Okay? Log b raised to x is equal to the base b is equal to x. Okay? Next, b to the exponent log b multiplied by x, log x to base b, the answer is x pa rin. Okay? The last two properties, 4 and 5, will be especially useful in the next section. Notice that these last two properties are inverse of each other. So log b to the x exponent to the base b is equal to x. While the other one, b log x to the base b is the same as x. Okay? Next, here are some properties that are useful in the manipulations of logarithm. So this is the most important, no? Log x multiplied by y to the base b is the same as log x to the base b plus log y to the base b po siya. 7. Log x divided by y to the base b is equal to log x to the base b minus log y to the base b. Last, log x raised to r to base b is equal to r log x to the base b. So this is much important in solving exponential unknown. Okay? So we have your example number 4. Write ln x cubed y to the fourth c to the fifth in terms of simpler logarithm. Solution: for all the given log x cubed y to the fourth c to the 5, we can use property 6. This property above can be extended to product of more than two functions. Once we use property 6, we can then use, no? So property 8, ln x cubed y to the fourth c to the fifth. So isasahin po natin, ln x cubed, kasi ito yung property 6 po natin, no? Multiplication, then we're going to have the properties addition. Ln x cubed plus ln y to the fourth plus ln c to the fifth, use property 6. Okay? Next, property 8, ito. Log x to the exponent r to the base b is equal to r log x to base b. So dito, ganun din yung gagawin natin. Kaya pag i-simplify natin, ito yung exponent niya, magiging 3 ln x plus 4 ln y plus 5 ln c. So that is our answer using simpler logarithm form. Okay? Example number 5. Write logarithm 9x to the fourth divided by the square root of y to the base 3 in terms of simpler logarithm. Solution: for the given log 9x to the fourth divided by square root of y to the base 3, we can use property number 7. That is subtraction. Okay? Yung division, magiging subtraction po siya. Ito na siya, no? Yung division, gagawin natin subtraction. So we have log 9x to the fourth to the base 3 square root of y. So we have log 9x to the fourth to the base 3 minus log y raised to 1 half. So yung radical expression dito, na-express natin to exponential exponent to the base 3. Okay? So simplify using your property 8. So we have log 9 to the base 3. Okay? Multiplication muna tayo, no? Property 6 muna. Log 9 to the base 3 plus log x to the fourth to the base 3 minus log y raised to 1 half raised to base 3. Property 7. Next, if we're going to simplify this one, 3, 9. Or that is 3 squared is equal to 9. So that is our answer, no? From our logarithm to exponential. 3 log 9 to the base 3 is equal to x. The answer is 3 raised to 2. The answer is 9. Okay? Then, 4 log x to the base 3 minus yung exponent natin, property 8, log 3, log y to the base 3. So, convert the root of fractional exponent. So, that is our solution, how to simplify logarithm. So, that ends our chapter 2 or week 2, which is all about functions under graph. Thank you.